How was lunch, you guys? Was good? Yeah? Good. We have a few folks just coming on in, but I think we'll go ahead and get started. So thank you for being here today. My name is Dr. Nikki. I work for Morgan Hill Unified School District, and I'm going to introduce my team to start with. So on this side, I have Martina Glenn, Sarah Andrade, Patricia Rojo, and Ruby Larono. And so today we are going to bring you a presentation titled Stress Busters to Save Lives. So what we're going to do is introduce some of the work that we've been doing in Morgan Hill, just to showcase that a little bit, but also it's good information. I know we have a variety of folks from different fields that you can take back to your sites. If you're an educator, if you're a parent, maybe say, hey, can we have this in our district? So we're going to just go through some of the spaces that we built up in our district, and then talk to you about some ways that you can really help reduce stress, whether you're a parent, in the classroom, if you're a therapist, that are practical applications. So we're going to be doing some hands-on activities throughout this presentation, hence the little goodie bag. But first, let's move and not let that food settle too much. So what we're going to do is have everybody come up. So you're going to put your stuff on your seats, and you're going to form a group of 6. So just find 6 people, and you're going to just come on up here. Just come on up, and we're going to get you set up into groups of 6. My team, if you could just facilitate that. Yeah. So we're going to be doing some concentric circles today. So come on up, come on up, come on up. Perfect. All right, so we're going to have 3 of you are going to come to the center, and you're going to be facing out, and the other 3 are going to be facing your partner.
So you're going to have 3 in the center.
You're going to face out.
So we'll have Sylvia and Jordan. Okay, and we'll have,
Excellent.
Okay, and you're going to turn around and face out. There we go.
Excellent.
Can I move you a little bit? Okay, there we go.
There is no amazing way to try to explain this activity.
I guess we'll just go Robert this way. That's okay. We'll play around with
And my team fill in if we need some extra folks. Hello. All right, so first question I'm going to ask you. Person on the inside is going to start answering this question. You're going to introduce yourself, the role you have if you're at a school or if you're a parent or whatever role you have in the community, and one activity that brings you peace. And I'm going to time you, so just listen for my words to say time. I absolutely can. So you're going to introduce yourself, person on the inside. You're going to say the role that you have in the school or the community, and one activity that brings you peace. The person on the inside is going to talk first, and then I'm going to time, and then it'll be the person on the outside. All right, ready? And person on the inside, go.
Hi, I'm Jennifer. I'm the case manager for Catholic Charities, and I enjoy
My name is Caroline. I'm a nurse at Corner Hospital. I'm a mother of 3, and I find peace in exercise.
And time. Now person on the outside. Ooh, I need a bigger voice. Person on the outside. You don't have to move. You're just going to answer the same question.
getting more resources, learning more about.
If you're coming in, just find a partner. And time. All right. Let's quiet so you can hear me. If you can hear me, clap once. kidding. All right. So now, you can call yourself person A if you'd like, one person. You're going to answer this question. So, how would you describe the word stress? I'm going to give you about 30 seconds, and then I'm going to say time, and then the other person's going to be able to answer that question. So, how would you describe the word stress? If somebody never heard of that word, what would you say stress is? And go. And time. Now the other person, how would you describe the word stress? And go. And time. Okay. Fist bump your partner and find your seat. Good job, you guys. Fist bump your partner, find your seat. Awesome, awesome. All right, who wants to share out as everybody's making their way back to the seat? What are some things that you guys said stresses? Just curious. Just talk nice and loud. Or I can come with the microphone. Debilitating. Pressure from people or things happening around you. Yeah. Anybody else?
A feeling of an uneasiness that persists.
Yes, an uneasiness. Also, if you have an empty chair by you, just raise your hand for me. Great. Thank you so much. We're going to fill every seat. Yes, 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 and yes, and yes. So stress is, this is what we came up with. Problems or life changes and pressures that can place a huge demand, and we're going to talk about our students here in this space, but this works for adults as well. For our students, our bodies react physically and emotionally to that information, and sometimes our students need support with the adjustment. All right, so what did we do as a response to this? So in 2021, the stakeholders in our district looked at the needs of our students and decided we really need to make some changes on our campuses. And one change that we made was to our environment. So each of our schools has an inviting space, and we'll show you some pictures shortly of what that looks like, but a space that looks very different than a classroom, so that when they come into it, their brain adjusts right away to be able to feel comfortable and welcomed in that space. We were able to provide professional staff, so we have licensed therapists. We call them school-based mental health counselors. So they're certificated and licensed at each of our sites, and they support our students with emotional regulation. Our goal is to help students to stay motivated and focused in their academic journey, because if you're a teacher or if you work with teachers, sometimes you're like, why do they need to go there? We want them to be successful in their academic journey. And so this is one way to get them there. And the second goal is to help students learn the coping skills needed to overcome the daily challenges. So these are some pictures here of our spaces in Morgan Hill. You are welcome to visit at any time. We love when people come through and get ideas so that they can bring it back to their sites. But it's you can see the furniture is comfortable. There's a lot of real and fake plants. My area is fake. I don't do real. But we have some waterfalls. We have some very low lighting that you can see, and adjustable lighting opportunities. Is there another seat? Oh, you're taking pictures. Okay, we're good. Okay. We also are introducing, we're looking at the overall wellness of our children. So at one of our elementary sites, we started an area you can see where there's 3 options for water. So the students actually get to choose what types of fruit they would like to put in their water. So we take a mini survey at the beginning of the week, and then the following week we try new strawberries or cucumbers or lemon or lime. And some of these students for the very first time have tried cucumber water. And so they choose this over any other juice or water source on the campus. So we're introducing overall wellness to our students. There's a video that we'll share with you at the end that'll walk you through what a student would see coming into the center for the very first time. So for our 22-23, this is some data. We pull a lot of data. This is just a very small portion. Oh, yes. Right here? Okay. Yes, I can do that. We pull a lot of data. We look at a lot of ways and reasons that the students are coming into the center. What time of day are they coming in? Who's coming in? Are we meeting the needs of all of our students? This is a very tier 1 and tier 2 and also tier 3 level support. So some of the data that we pull is how many safety plans were created for, we do it month by month. For last year, it's 109 safety plans were created. So this is 109 students that told us that they are not safe, that they wanted to harm themselves. And so we were able to work with them and create safety plans. We had 26,500 visits during non-class time. So this would be our breaks, our lunches, before school and after school, that students can come in freely and use this space to self-regulate, to build peer-to-peer relationships, or just have a space to kind of calm down, read a book. We have some podcasts in our center. We're very tech light. So we really want them to be able to use hands-on skills, problem solve, and process things without a lot of the technology that they're getting throughout the day. So, but we do have some podcasts that we specifically use for students in our middle school and our high schools. We've had 12,474 counseling sessions during class time. So that's the number of students across our district that came in and said, I need to talk to somebody because of. And so they are able to do that. We have a system at all of our sites on how they access that during class time. Our top 2 reasons for our students coming in for our secondary, so 6 through 12, was 1, they needed a brain break. It was too much information happening in the classroom, too many adjustments, too many distractions, and they just needed a place to calm down. So with that, we give them about 10 minutes, unless they need more, to take that brain break, and then they're equipped to go back to class and be successful. And the second reason is for feeling nervous, anxious, or worried. And so we know certainly when we're feeling these ways, that can lead into other areas that could be unsafe for our students. The top 2 reasons for counseling for our elementary is they describe it as feeling sad, depressed, or lonely. And the second reason is friendship or relationship problems. So we know that when we feel alone sometimes, we tend to look inward and try to solve that problem ourselves, and it's not always the safest and healthiest way. This is the framework that we use in Morgan Hill. Just go like this if I need to move. I'm going to keep forgetting. This is the framework that we use in Morgan Hill. So all the bubbles are the areas that we want our students to meet. And so in order to do that, all of the areas in the yellow are that what we strive to do on all of our campuses. I'm going to turn it over to Patricia, and she's going to talk to you about our elementary students.
Hi, everyone. My name is Patricia. I'm one of the wellness counselors at the Morgan Hill Unified School District. I currently work with students from TK through the 8th grade, but for today, I'll be talking to you all about TK through 5th grade. So some of the main concerns or reasons why students are visiting our wellness counselors in the elementary level is primarily due to anxiety and depression. Typically, it's really seen a lot with the younger students like TK, kinder, maybe even first grade, when it's like their first time stepping on a school campus, or even like when it's their first time being away from their parents or guardians, like they have a lot of trouble managing and adjusting to that. So we often see that happening. And also, like with depression, a lot of students have a hard time creating like friends at school, or they might even be having like some peer conflict with their classmates, or even also like bullying. And all of that just causes a lot of students to feel like lonely and sad in general. So also with that, it has been seen that with the younger students, they have poor social skills. Like maybe they don't know when they need to ask like for help from like an adult, or they also might not know about like self-regulation. Another one that's often seen is like low self-esteem. With this, sometimes maybe students get a poor score on like a test or like on a homework assignment, and their self-esteem is now then like affected. Or even like when, like when you reach like 4th, 5th grade, your body starts changing, and sometimes students start developing like low self-esteem with that. And lastly, another common one is family problems. Some students do come from maybe divorced parents, and they have trouble adjusting to 2 different households, or maybe they come from like a single parent household where they wish they could spend a little bit more time with that one parent, or also like they might be having like issues with their siblings. So we support them with that. So these are some of the tools that we use to support students from TK to the 5th grade. One of them is helping them identify the different emotions that they're experiencing. And it's really recommended to use like simple words with them, just because that way they have a better understanding of what they're experiencing at the moment. So for example, using simple words like happy, sad, mad, instead of like the bigger words like anxiety, anger, depression. And like how I said, that helps them understand a little bit more of what's going on. Another one is like helping them identify where in their body they're experiencing these type of emotions. Like, for example, if a student is starting to feel nervous, like asking them, where in your body are you feeling this? Is it like in your stomach? Is it in your chest, your throat, your head? That way you can support them and see where or who you can reach out to for to get them the right support. With that, also like teachers or even parents, like helping them build their self-esteem by recognizing what strengths they have, and also like creating the self-awareness, along with like self-compassion and compassion for others can be really important, especially when addressing like bullying in schools, and also teaching them about how to advocate for themselves. Another really important one is teaching them different ways of how they can express their emotions. With the little ones, sometimes they don't know how to verbalize their emotions. So teaching them like there's different strategies. Like for example, a lot of the little ones like to color, draw, and that could be one of the way of how they can express out what they're feeling at the moment. Another one is teaching them about like healthy relationship boundaries with their friends or with their classmates. And number 8, I feel like that's an important one in classrooms, self-regulation. So, again, teaching them how they can recognize when they need that break, and like letting them tell you like, hey, I'm feeling nervous, I need a break. Can I step outside for a second and then come back right in? So that could be helpful. So these are some of the activities some of our wellness counselors in the elementary level practice with the students. These can be done either like during the one-on-one sessions or even during like the students' recess or their lunchtime. So for example, there's a picture where the counselor is teaching the student like how to practice deep breathing using the rainbow technique. Also, throughout the school year, we do different like activities with them where they are allowed to be creative, and that way they can also express out what they're feeling at the moment. And yeah, and also like when the counselors go out there during the students' recess or lunchtime and create small arts and craft activities with them, it creates more of a positive community with them. And it also helps students interact with each other, and that can possibly help them develop friendships with others. So now we are going to be doing a small activity. This is, maybe some of you know or have heard about it. It's called the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 grounding technique. And just to give you a little background of it, we're going to be using our 5 senses, which is seeing, feeling, hearing, smelling, and tasting. So I would like you all to get comfortable in your chairs. Maybe place your feet flat on the ground. Okay. And I would like you all to close your eyes. And we're going to take a deep breath in through our nose. And we're going to hold. And we're going to exhale out through our mouth. And we're going to slowly open our eyes. And we're going to start noticing 5 different things in the room. So this can be maybe your neighbor on the side, the board, the window, the door, maybe your shoes. Okay. Now, I would like you to notice 4 things that you can feel. So this could be maybe your hair, maybe your pants, your jeans, feeling the texture of it, the chair, maybe the carpet. Now, I would like you to notice 3 things that you can hear. So this can be my voice, maybe the projector, the AC. Now I would like you to notice 2 things that you can smell. So it could be maybe the lotion that you put on this morning, or the scent of your clothes. And last, I would like you to notice 1 thing that you can taste. So this can be maybe the coffee that you had this morning, or your lunch. Yeah. Alrighty. So this grounding technique is recommended to staff in schools to practice it with your students, like with teachers. Like for example, if when students are coming in from like recess or their lunchtime, and you are trying to transition into maybe having them take a test, or maybe transitioning into teaching a new lesson, this can help students ground themselves and which allows them to come back to the present moment, and also just to take away any negative thoughts that they might be thinking of at that moment. And with parents, you can practice this also like with your children, like at home. Like maybe if at nighttime, if they're having like a hard time falling asleep, or if you notice that they're starting to feel like anxious, like this can be really helpful. Or even for yourself, like if you're starting to feel like you're stressed out or overwhelmed, it will definitely help you like to calm down and just ground yourself. And it's really simple. You just have to use your 5 senses. So now, just to finish off about the elementary information, you all should have had in one of the baggies. Inside the baggies, you will find a bookmark. And in the baggie, you will also find a marker. So once you have your bookmark, I would like you to think, or you can also look it up on your phone, of an inspirational or positive quote that you feel that resonates with you. Or also it can be a simple phrase like some self-affirmation words that you might use on a daily basis. Just as simple as you can write like, I am brave, I am strong, I am capable, I'm thankful for today. And once you have written down a positive quote or inspirational quote, or simply just simple words, you can, on the back, inside the bag, you will also find maybe some stickers, or you're also welcome to draw something on the blank side. And again, you can practice doing this with your students if you're a teacher, or maybe with your children. It's really recommended to do it like maybe at the beginning of the day. That way you can start off your day in a positive way, and just be ready for that day. Yeah. Would somebody like to share their positive quote or affirmation words? Yeah. What is it? Oh, kindness is free. I love that one. Yeah. Thank you. Alrighty. Thank you, everyone.
I'll step over here. Hello, I'm Sarah Andrade. I am the middle school wellness counselor. So very similar to what Patty sees in elementary. Because of COVID, a lot of our students, I'm sure as you guys are seeing too, are not quite as developmentally far as we usually see. So a lot of our students are still seeing a really difficult time identifying emotions. What we do in middle school is we really want to bridge the gap between them being little and kind of preparing for high school. So we want to elevate from I'm feeling mad, sad, happy to a little bit deeper. So we're feeling left out. We're feeling unmotivated. We're feeling overwhelmed. We're feeling disconnected. So those are bigger words that a lot of our students are not able to identify, basically because they don't have the language. So a big piece of what we see in our wellness center is just working with our students to identify what exactly emotion are you feeling, and then what's the language? How do we give them to speak it? Because if they cannot say it, then there's no way that they can heal, right? So with that comes limited emotional regulation. If they don't know what they're feeling, they don't know how to regulate it. So I'm feeling mad. That's very different than I'm feeling left out, right? We're going to work differently with those two emotions. So our students just are struggling with the ability to regulate their emotions. Unfortunately, for most of the world, but with our students during COVID, when they were feeling a certain emotion, they didn't have to really see anyone. They didn't have to interact. They can close their laptop and head off over to the bedroom, right? Especially in middle school and these days with social media, you don't like someone, you're not feeling something, you block it, you disconnect, you sign out, and that's it. In the real world, and when you're actually walking the halls of middle school, you don't get to block people. You don't get the option of not having to see them every day and sit next to them in math class. So what we do a lot is just the coping skills of how do you manage to be in the same room with people when you don't like them, right? And in middle school, that tends to be a daily occurrence of I like you, I don't like you, I'm friends with you, I'm not. So that leads to our students feeling left out and isolated from peers. A big piece of that, which is a little bit different from what Patty was saying about learning to make friends, right? How do I make friends? I don't have friends. I feel left out. In middle school, we see a lot of our students that are at different developmental ages. So we have, from 6th, 7th, and 8th. So even though they're with their friend group, they don't know why they feel alone. And it's very common for them to realize, oh, I'm either maturing faster emotionally, mentally, or physically, right? Which also sets you aside. Or I'm not keeping up with everyone. So I like my friends. I have my friends. I feel included physically, like, hey, come hang out with me, sit with me at lunch. But then we're talking and I have no idea what we're talking about. Or why are we talking about this? This is so like little kiddish, right? So it's a different form of feeling left out in isolation, and giving and normalizing that for our students is really important because they just think, well, I feel all alone, even though I'm surrounded by all these people and all these friends that I've had since kindergarten. So why is it so different? So getting them to see that and then exposed to different groups on campus, and also realizing you can still be friendly with someone, you can still have a relationship, and it's okay. It doesn't mean that you're a bad person, they're a bad person. It doesn't have to be some big dramatic event that pulls you guys apart, right? Because with our middle schoolers, they're black and white. So they're like, well, nothing happened, so we can still be friends. It's like, that's right. But sometimes in life, we outgrow people or we just move at different paces, and that's okay. No one's right, no one's wrong. We're just moving at different paces, and that's simply just where we're at. So even normalizing that, they're like, wait, what are you talking about? They have to think that they have to have some big dramatic event to pull them apart from their friends. So moving on to the feeling overwhelmed with school demands, this is just huge for 5th grade moving into middle school. They're so young. They're 11, 12, and they're, just being on campus with some of our 8th graders, which is, even though it's a couple years, it can seem pretty significant. And then going from 1 class, 2 classes to now 6 classes, 6 teachers. Our school, we have 2 schedules. We have events, all the different things we have, groups, activities. And for them, it's just trying to juggle it all. Like, it's a total foreign world. So being able to sit in a classroom, deal with different teachers. So like, I like this teacher 1st period, but I can't stand 2nd period. But then I like 3rd period and I'm okay 4th period. And it's like up and down, right? Most of us, we go into work or we go into certain situations and we kind of have an expectation of what we're going to feel. Like, maybe today is going to be a little rougher. Maybe tomorrow, so-and-so is coming in and like I have to kind of gear up and be more prepared. But for middle school, it's literally hour by hour. So for us that work in a little bit of like crisis work, it's similar how our emotions go up and down of like, you have to be prepared. And as adults, we kind of plan for that, or we should plan for that, hopefully. But for our middle schoolers, they just are walking into it pretty blindly. So that really goes into the anxiety of attending school, of just being on campus. We've had a lot of our students cannot get out of the car. They're in carpool. They're at the curb and they're calling us, hey, Miss Sarah, so-and-so's really struggling. And here we go, walking out like, okay, buddy, we got you. We're going to transition you from the car to the wellness center. We're going to do grounding techniques. We're going to do some deep breathing. We're going to have you just sit under the weighted blanket and listen to calm music for a minute. And then when you're ready, 5-10 minutes, sometimes longer, then we'll walk you to class. So it's kind of the security blanket and the transition they need. But a lot of them have a hard time just even sitting in class. And it is, we can really contribute that to COVID. Obviously, like I said earlier, just they got to do Zoom sitting in their pajamas, and then afterwards logging off and going straight over to turn on TV or do whatever they do. But even just getting up and getting dressed and having to be presentable, which, as Patty was saying, for elementary, the self-esteem, getting ready. Middle school is tough as it is. And then not being here for a couple of years, a lot of students are just really struggling to even get in the door, just on campus. So those are a couple of things that we do for our middle schools, where we do a lot of like action focus because they want to be out, they want to be running around. So for Kindness Week, we did an activity it says, you got this. We did take what you need, leave what you can. So in those little envelopes, we kind of had all the different attributes that they might need for the day: strength, patience, kindness, encouragement, motivation. And so they were able to take things that they were just words, exactly, kind of like an encouragement word. They took them, put them in their pocket, and anytime they needed it throughout the day, just take it out and look at it. So that was really fun. The kids came up with those words themselves, and then they also were able to leave it out. So like if they were like, you know what, today I need to leave my anger, I'm going to leave it here. I'm going to take patience, or I'm going to take empathy, and I'm going to leave judgment, right? The other piece that we do, which is very similar to what you guys just did with your affirmations, is we do that with our students. We have that in our center at all times. So students can come in. We have encouraging stickers and little bookmarks, and they really like that. Those stickers usually go on their phones or on their Hydro Flasks, although I don't think Hydro Flasks are cool anymore. I think it's Stanley's. I cannot keep up with the middle school. I'm not going to lie. And then the really fun one we did, which was a mental health challenge. And so we had our students simply just say, what's one thing you're going to try this week? Now, mental health to them is like, what does that even mean? And I'm like, how about you say hello to one person that you wouldn't normally say hello to? How about you go drink water instead of grabbing a soda? Or you walk the lap in PE compared to just sitting there and like judging everyone because you don't want to walk, right? So some of them are deeper, right? I'm going to try to journal. I'm going to try breathing. I'm going to try coming into the wellness center. So the students put those up without their names on it. We had them write one for them and then one for us. And then we put it up. So we had it kind of up on our whole wall, which is really cool, because then all the other students can be like, oh, that's a good idea. I'll try that too. Because they're so impressionable. They want to do what everyone's doing. So if we could do positive things, then absolutely. So we're going to do another activity because we like to move and groove. We are going to do breathing beads activity. So a big piece of what we do in the center is very similar to what Patty was saying about just grounding and taking a breath. Our main goal is we want to get our students to be able to get back into class and be successful. So yes, while we want them to come to us for a brain break, we also want them to go back to class, which is where they're supposed to be in school, right? So while I'm talking, you guys can pull out in your bag. You guys have a different color pipe cleaners. Pick whatever pipe cleaner speaks to you, whatever color. So what's really important about breathing is that it brings down the heart rate. It stimulates the parasympathetic nervous system that basically is responsible for signaling to your brain, rest and relax. So it triggers your nervous system to help you start calming, and then that gives you an ability for your brain to take over and your emotions to take a back seat. So inside So everyone grab your one pipe cleaner. I'm going to put this, and what, can you hold this real quick or put the, and I think this is going to fall. Okay, can I? So what you're going to do is, and inside your bag you have beads. So you can grab a couple beads. I'm sorry, I know it's kind of, you're going to have to use your lap as a table. And all you're going to do is you're going to take one part of the pipe cleaner and you're going to kind of turn it so it's a little bit up so the bead can't fall off the back piece. And you're going to string about 3 or 4 beads onto your pipe cleaner. Got it, I know. And then once you're done with your 3 or 4 beads, then you just take the other part of the pipe cleaner and just kind of curl it so it looks a little bit like a mustache. But that way so the beads won't fall off of it. And you can like twist it, get creative, whatever, how creative you feel like getting. And then with your beads, I'm just gonna pretend because I don't have these on. You're gonna take your bead, and this is something you can do with all of your students. They can do in class if they need to. You're going to take your bead, and when you slide it across to the other side, you're going to take a big, deep breath in. There you go. And then when it gets to the other side, you're going to let it out. Then you're going to go to the second bead and do the same thing. And depending on, and you can do that how many times you want to do it depending on how many beads you have, or what the age that you're working with. So big, deep breath in to one side, let it out. You can do it again with the bead, let it out, bead, let it out. And the kids can just go back and forth as many times as they want. If you want to do a shorter one and cut these in half and then put them in the student's pocket, they can do it in class. So it's not something that they actually have to leave class and do. Teachers can also make this and have this at their desk when they need a little breathing, or counselors when you're talking with a student and you need to do it with them, right? So you can, it's really versatile to do. It's mobile. The kids can take it with them. It keeps them in class or keeps them wherever they need to be present and grounding at the same time. Yeah.
Yeah, I love this idea, and especially I was thinking for elementary school age, because a lot of times when you're doing the numbers to them, they get a little confused with the numbers, but if they're catching something and bringing them
Right.
along, then you get to that end, and then they really put out there.
Yep. And it's fuzzy. So it's like fun for them to kind of like play with.
And it's very, it's actually, it's brilliant.
Yep. Thank you.
I gotta tell you, I am so relaxed right now.
Oh, good. That's so wonderful. We love that. Okay, and now I think I might be, yeah. And off to Martina.
Hi. Well, high school is definitely not about relaxation. That's a completely different ballgame. Oh, thank you, Ruby. So we are dealing with very similar issues to the middle schoolers and also elementary schoolers, but on a very, very, very deeper level. When kids get into high school, they enter this 4-year stage of temporary insanity when they are going through what is, in therapeutic circles called differentiation. So they are starting to become their own human beings. They struggle with identity questions. They question their gender. They explore their sexuality. They are turning into little beasts who are getting into relationships that they have no idea where they are going to take them. Especially, I'm actually beginning to see it with freshmen who are completely freaking out about their futures. But with seniors, right now is the time when they are all having little heart attacks about FAFSA, about applications, about selecting the right school, about what am I gonna do? How am I gonna do it? What am I gonna tell my parents? How am I gonna make all these horrible decisions? Whom am I gonna gonna take out for homecoming? We have a homecoming next week, so that's gonna be really hard. Decision-making stresses about what university do I actually want to go to if I get accepted. But then there's also a lot of parental expectations. So my parent wants me to study computer science while I really want to do photography. And then we are expecting waves of disappointments when our students are actually unable to go to the schools that they chose for different kinds of reasons. And one of the deepest ones is financial reasons. So our students also struggle with a lot of expectations from their parents, from their peers, from society, from themselves. And what we are seeing is that a lot of students just see one path to their future, and they think that if they chose something different, they would be shamed by their families or judged by their peers or deemed not good enough for society. So we are dealing, especially in seniors, with a lot of depression and actually a lot of suicidal thinking and kind of giving up on their future. So of course, we do a lot of art projects and we do, we bring the community together, which I think is actually one of the most crucial points in what we are doing with high schoolers. We want to make sure that each one of our students is included in our community. We are creating a lot of, we are working on a lot of projects that were established to change the world, to make people understand that they are not the only ones in this world, that there are other people with different kinds of struggles, from different kinds of, backgrounds, cultural backgrounds, socioeconomic backgrounds. And we definitely want to create a sense of belonging, which, high school, important, extremely important. So in the top right corner, you see the goats. We invited goats to our wellness center to be presented there as an activity to destigmatize mental illness and mental struggles. We had the goats, and the students were able to cuddle with them and take pictures with them and post them on social media. Actually, you can follow us on Sobrato Wellness on Instagram. For the Day of the Dead, which is coming, my favorite holiday, we were decorating the wellness center with the paper garlands and with the skulls. We also started this huge fashion of making paper tissue flowers, which the teachers were putting into their hair, and again, decorating the wellness center. For Valentine's, again, decorations, simple decorations with just the word love. You see one of my favorite students, her name is Sophia. She is holding one of our plastic cups, plastic flower pots. Students were decorating them, and we saw a lot of creativity. They were all sitting together in one huge table. They decorated the plants, and we all donated from our gardens. And for some students, it was actually the first time they were touching soil, and they were getting their hands dirty. And then they were able to take all those flower pots home, and some of them they gave those pots to the teachers. So it was amazing to see how teachers had the flower pots on their windows, and I'm like, oh, that was made by this student, that student. So they are actually working on making our school environments more friendly. The collage made from hands, we are planning on doing one with the seniors where they are gonna outline their hands and write about their plans for the future, and then create a gigantic collage. What you see is a lei. We will raid Michael's, and we will get a whole bunch of ribbons, and we will make leis with our high schoolers. We are also planning on buying all the glitter and all the rhinestones and help our students decorate their graduation caps. It's gonna be totally rad, and you guys should all do it. So now I have Miss Ruby, and without Miss Ruby, I would never ever be able to do the things that I do. Ruby is my partner in crime, and she is amazing because she brings a lot of students together. Together, we are working on hearing student voices. So together, we actually designed a lot of surveys which we sent out to our students where they were able to verbalize what they need from us, what they need from the wellness center, what kind of, like, oh, hey, you guys should bring more goats, you guys should bring kittens, you guys should do this, you guys should do that. And I cannot imagine my work without Ruby, who is my right hand partner in crime, like I said, and she's also overseeing the student-led peer support group. Yeah, Ruby, go ahead.
Thank you, Martina. Thank you. Yes, my name is Ruby Larono. I'm a wellness assistant at Ann Sobrato High School. And I had a vision of a student-led peer support group. And we'll just go into the website if I can select it. Okay, so this is a student-led group. Students are willing to come together to build connection with their group and share their areas of focus. So the students were able to create design their logo and create their name. And let's click at what about, if I can. So the Wellness Peer Support Group is a student-led group that comes together to build connection and share their area of focus. Let's see here. Let's click on the home page. So what is this Wellness Peer Support Group? We focus on the 7 dimensions of wellness. And what does it mean for high school? We focus on social, the students focus on social, financial, environmental, emotional, physical, and intellectual and spiritual. Let's choose one. And let's go into physical. And so the students created their site on what is physical wellness and what are the fun facts of physical wellness, what campus resources they have, and then what their favorite top pick activity is. So let's listen to this student. Her name is Vanessa. She was the physical wellness and 12th grade level leader. Uh-oh. No volume.
You can take for your physical well-being. There are many activities to help.
Thank you.
Hi, my name is Vanessa. I am the 12th grade leader of the Wellness Support Group, and I am going to be talking about physical wellness. Physical wellness can improve your health in many beneficial ways. This can be done by exercising, going on walks, and hiking. Here at Sobrato, there are many after-school sports, and there is a PE class that you can take for your physical well-being. There are many activities to help get involved. Look at the list down below to get more information about lists of activities here at Sobrato that can improve your physical health.
So that was an example of what the students did on their site. And then these were the members. They had 4 grade level leaders. They added their own Bitmojis, 7 dimensions, the category leaders, and then of course other members that were part of the group that had skills in like media, editing. And also they also had the opportunity to get a certificate through the Wellness Education Lab. Sorry. Can everybody see it? It's okay. All right. Sorry. Okay, and also there are students too that wanted to focus on what the wellness of sleep was. So they also presented how sleep affects their everyday life. Let's let's see, and they also pledged in their group and their commitment of the group. So let's see here. Click on the menu. So we're going to go back to the home page. So they have, you can explore this website. I'll give you the QR code so you can explore more to it. But they also had a resource page, application for membership. They had the students' calendar and events, which brings to the gallery. So here you could see that the students came to the table, they sat, they talked about different scenarios and things that can help each other. They also attended a Mind Out Loud event, virtual event, and had a pizza party. And so what is the outcome of this group? If I can click at it, sorry guys. Okay, so the outcomes are the students receive a participation award. They gave us some testimonies, and I'll click on one of them. It's a short video.
Hi, I'm Mrs. Loroto, and I am here at the Wellness Center at Sobrato. I have Nico here. You are in what grade?
I'm a junior.
You're a junior. Perfect. I have a question. Why is the Wellness Peer Support Group important with relationships, mental health, and
Learning.
yeah, and learning? Very good. Thank you.
I think that the Wellness Peer Support Group helps students out when it comes to learning because you have access to extra courses such as the wellness lab where you can earn a certificate, and it helps students with relationships by giving them extra opportunities to socialize and work with students in social settings, and it helps finally help students with mental health by being able to give them a safe place to come.
Perfect. Thank you. Thank you, Nico.
Yeah, so she gave her testimony about why that group was super important to her. From this group, students grow from it, build connection, motivate each other, give peer-to-peer support. Students learn from one another, make decisions, feel a sense of belonging, and much more. If you want to learn more about this site and you want to mimic it, you want to bring this in your organization, this Wellness Peer Support Group, you can scan the QR code, and our information is at the homepage at the bottom. And that concludes my part. Thank you.
And very quickly, you see the pictures of the legs of our students in the Sobrato Wellness Center. So high schoolers definitely struggle with a whole bunch of emotions. In your little bags, you have little journals. You can take them out. There's also a whole bunch of different kinds of colored pencils. So just randomly take one out. And you have 2 seconds. Sorry, to draw your emotions. You can do round shapes. You can do sharp shapes. You can scribble. You can scratch. No, don't stab. You can just use your pencils, use your crayons just to draw whatever is happening in your mind right now. In my mind, I'm just seeing like arrows, run away, time's up, and my stress is, drawing all sorts of different kinds of spirals. So my picture would definitely be totally crazy and insane, and that is okay. I would also probably draw a lot of hearts because I totally love all my coworkers and my lovely boss, Miss Dr. Nikki.
While you do that, because our time is limited, thank you so much, Ms. Martina. I'm just going to play the video that we have to show you as if this was a student coming in.
making snow angels? Is it comfortable? Awesome.
Thank you all for coming to our presentation today. Have a wonderful rest of your day. Hopefully a little bit more relaxing.